Hello everyone, my name is Kevin. This is my channel called Silver Hill. It's for all you folks, presumably somewhere between 55 and 65 perhaps, perhaps and up, and you are not quite in what you would like to say retirement yet, but you what I like to call semi-retirement. And that's, in my definition, as I've talked to about in another video, is a bit about how your time is very much your own, but at the same time you're trying to do a few things, both to help with perhaps your family and different things, but also to make a little money, a little coin on the side. Right now I'm walking through an old sunflower patch, as you can see. It's a very beautiful day here, and we had our first snow just a few days ago, and the sunflowers were just bowing in the sun with all these big caps of snow on them, which was really quite beautiful. And I did take some photos and shared them on social media. But one of the things I want to talk about today is the importance of health, and how health and wealth are basically in some ways the same thing. And when you're especially, things can go wrong in your life at any time, as you know, health-wise. You can have different things in your body, genetically and whatever, and this, but what you can do is just sort of maintain an attitude that you're going to be as healthy as possible as you age. Because the healthier you are, the better your life, the quality of life is going to be, and even your ability to perhaps do some things for other people, for yourself, make a little cash if you can, and just basically get prepared for this time of your life. And I can tell you from personal experience that life can throw things at you, and it seems to do so on average more as you age. This is not an unexpected thing. Some people may be even in a handicapped situation. They're watching this, and I know there's a broad spectrum of people. Some people, they get to be 80 and they're still weightlifting and running and kayaking and doing everything. I don't really expect that to be me, but on the other hand, you never know. Both my parents were relatively healthy into their 80s. My mom is still going. My dad had lived to be 87 years old. But I think I'd just like to discuss the importance of doing the best you can with what you've got to maintain your health, because you know that the more healthy you are, the more you can enjoy this part of your life. Now, the part that is important is what you take in and basically what you put out too. And we have to be more conscious, I think, now than ever, of what we're eating. And if you're anything like me, you've had sensitivities or perhaps allergies at this point, intolerances, and there's certain things you can't eat. And sometimes that's a good thing, because it keeps me away from junk food. But this is not the time of your life to be thinking having a lot of junk food, a lot of pop, a lot of soda, a lot of sugar, a lot of salt is not going to do very well. In fact, you're going to want to go to your doctor or to your medical facilities and try to get some kind of idea where you are with your cholesterol, with your blood pressure, and that whole thing. Because you're going to want to know first what you're dealing with. And your doctor, they can get back to you with a blood test. It's fairly simple. And every little thing. That's one thing my dad used to always say. We like to think of things in great big leaps and bounds, and, winning the lottery, supposedly as we speak. But basically, life comes in small increments. And what I like to call attrition. If you got a problem you're working on, something you want to solve, or you're cleaning, which is another part, I can get into sometime in another episode how I really am facing a huge task cleaning out my parents' homes and stuff like that. One thing they didn't have done, and my wife and I were just starting to do ours, get our stuff under control, and we were left with this other actually huge mess left by my parents. But anyways, we're back to the health thing. The health thing is so important, and this is why I'm trying to get back into walking more like I used to. I had some fairly serious health issues hit me, one right after another. I talk about them in another episode, how I almost died or something like that is the title. And what happened was, basically in a nutshell, I was having issues my whole life, or for decades, and then it finally came about that I had a necrotic gallbladder. I had to stay in the hospital, and well, it was a few months even before that, waiting to get in, because they tried to wait for the most urgent person, and then I became the most urgent person, because then the gallbladder had died, basically, and they had to take it out. So anyways, that's another video. And then I had, right on the back of that, while I was in hospital, it seemed like prostate issues happened, and I had then wait for prostate surgery. Nothing was cancerous, but basically, like my wife and I were talking about the other day, it took me out for 10 months to a year, basically, where I was unable to work, to do my art. It's one thing I even do artistic things on the side. And so since about last spring, things have been better. It took me at least 16 weeks to get back to be able to use the washroom normally again after the prostate surgery. And yeah, that's a scary horror story we'll save for another day. But it's really beautiful here. You see lots of snow and stuff. I think we're going to have more snow turn to rain tomorrow, so it could be tricky getting around. So I thought today would be a good day to just come and do this walk. So as I was saying, your health is important. And before all this, I used to do a little jog in the morning up here and go for a walk almost every day. But when you get stuck with a catheter or something and you're having gallbladder attacks, which I did in the space of, I think it was 4 to 6 months, I actually lost 55 pounds. That's how bad it was. Because it was so bad I could only eat candy and drink water at the last point before the surgery. So anyway, really, maybe perhaps when I was at 30 or 40, I could have cut back on some things that might have helped prevent some of the gallbladder issues. But a lot of times, it's no sense to beat yourself up too much about these medical issues, because a lot of things that we get in life are due to the DNA, things that are passed down to us that we inherit from our parents or our grandparents. This is why, too, my dad had several heart attacks before they had to finally put in a pacemaker defibrillator. And so this is why I'm trying to eat a lot leaner, watching my cholesterol. I do take medication for that and blood pressure as well. I mentioned mental health, and the importance of that too. Your mental health sometimes really drives your physical health, and then sometimes it's just the other way around as well. If you don't feel like exercising and you can't push yourself to it, it affects your mental health, and vice versa. If you can get into the habit of making habits and just forcing yourself to do the little bit you can do every day, it will make a difference. And that's the point. If you're 55 and up, you're going to want to do something for your health. And so that it'll all add up and you'll have better days ahead. So one of the things I do every morning, and it took me a while to get into this habit, but I've been doing it for years, and that is as well as going for a walk every day, I do a few light weightlifting in the morning, some curls, a few push-ups, that sort of thing, and to help get the muscles, able to be used and everything. So I just want to tell you guys today that it's very important to keep up in your health, to really watch what you're eating. Sure, you can have some fun, go do some stuff sometimes. You're eating with the family if you're able to do that. But basically, overall, you want to get yourself in a place where every day you're eating for your health, and you're not doing the Pop-Tarts and the bags of chips and the soda pop on a regular basis, because man, you can really get into the habit of doing that. Okay, so basically I think that's what I want to cover, and it's just to encourage you and to not be, just so you won't get discouraged about exercising and eating right. You can find different ways. For example, you can search online for different ways to help you with your eating habits. One thing I used to drink a lot of, when I was young, a lot of Pepsi. I used to do a lot of physical work, and I get thirsty, and I would drink a lot of pop. Then I started realizing this really isn't that great for me, and you're buying this stuff, spending money on it all the time. So what I did do is I went out and got some soda water, basically, the fizzy water, just carbonated, and I took that and I started half and half Pepsi, half carbonated water, and I thinned it down. I make myself drink that as a replacement. So I knew I was getting a little bit more water than sugar and whatever the hell else they put in those drinks that are so great for you. And sarcasm intended. So that helped me over time thin that down to the point where I really don't have a desire anymore for pop. And I'll only get a little bit if, say, something, and we're doing some kind of takeout, and I can I only drink a little bit with my food, and then I'm done. And yeah, it's a bit of waste of money, but those times when you go out for a little fun, or you bring home some meal if you don't want to be out in the crowds. We still got some snow, as you can see, on the trees. I do like to get outside. I think even the air is better for the fresh air is better for a person's mind. But perhaps you're not able to do that. Perhaps you live in a city. But maybe you can get down from your apartment, get out on the sidewalks, go for a little walk, do something, just get fresh air. Again, think about the little steps, the little things, the little improvements. It's not about, I walked so far. Look, I got a friend on Twitter, X, whatever it's called, which I am moving off that platform. And he's about my age, and he goes and he runs, like he jogs. And he can do up to, it's quite a bit, like 5 mile, 10 mile. And I'm like, there's no way. I've had sciatica issues twice. And just recently this past fall, which relates again to looking after my parents' stuff, I ended up with sciatica. And what's the piriformis muscle got inflamed. And that's the butt muscle, basically. And for 4 weeks, I couldn't move. And I mean, I'm not kidding. You can't move. You can do certain exercises to relieve that, where you put the sore leg side. You take that ankle and you put it up over your knee, and then your opposite knee, and then you lift it up, and that helps stretch that piriformis muscle. But as far as driving, as far as doing any work, I was out 4 weeks, and then the remaining 2 weeks, still quite a bit of pain. And so it takes a total of 6 weeks. 6 weeks when you get sciatica. So you want to look after yourself. You want to stretch those muscles. You don't want to overwork yourself. That's the important thing. I don't know about you, but I've been finding that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak when it comes to trying to do things that you want to do, and then all of a sudden you hurt yourself, and body's just not the same. When you start getting your late 50s and 60s, sooner or later, on average, unless you're one of these super people, you have more issues. So guys, this is just an encouragement. I'm almost to the top of the hill that I'm walking, and this is an encouragement to stay strong in your mind, to love yourself, to be happy with the little things. Focus on the small things, and look for small answers, small victories, as they say. It's almost a cliche, isn't it? But it is true, and I'm sure you've got stories similar. Because if you look too big, if you expect too much, sorry about that sun there, of yourself, chances are you're going to be disappointed. And that's a mental health issue right there. So instead of me just rambling on, you guys, you have a good day, and get out there, do what you can do. Whatever your situation is, maybe you can only lift a 1-pound book, or whatever you can do to make your life a little better. But health, as you're moving into your semi-retired years, your physical health, your mental health is really, really important. Take care, guys. If you have any comments, remember to be polite. I got a thick skin. I don't care what you say to me, but there's other folks reading this, and stay polite for their sake, will you? All right, you have a great day. This is Kevin from Silver Hill. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.